see more of it. My pockets aren't that deep. You spoke earlier of patience.
We really don't speak of patience. We think it's overrated and unnecessary.
Well, this pilot I produced was 10 years ago. And, like the Jews asked Moses, when are we going to get to the promised land?
Well, at the time that it was produced, was it too leading edge?
It was produced. It was presented to the Food Network, and they said, "This is very, very nice, but nothing like it is on television. So we're not going to compete with ourselves. So good luck with it."
So how does it feel now in relationship to that?
It's still, there's nothing on television like it.
Yes, but is the culture closer to readiness for it?
It is closer, especially like when you spoke about Oprah's television network. It's leading more towards a spiritual way of teaching people how to have intimate dining experiences at home.
So when you think about this project, well, we'll ask them first, because they're sensitive. They've been here all day, and they are less attached to your issue than you are. So does it feel to you that our friend here is more in harmony with the absence of the manifestation or the presence of the manifestation? They're so smart. Now, well, that's easy to understand, because something that you want hasn't happened yet. And as we begin almost every gathering, we playfully tease our audience by saying, "Do you know what you want?" And frequently they will say yes, they know what they want, even though their vibration is not really in alignment with what they want, because what you've got is almost always more vivid. So to get to this, we like the fact that you bring in the word promised land, because it truly is promised. What's in the vortex it's not just promised, it's a sure thing. It's not just a sure thing, it's a done deal. It's not just future tense, it's present tense. So the question, it comes up all day, every day in gatherings like this, is how can we're standing in your physical shoes, how can I feel the presence of something that isn't present? Well, you've got to find another way of approaching it. You've got to find the essence of it. In other words, is this television program, when we were talking earlier about once you get into the vortex, and at first you begin, the edge is gone, and then you begin feeling better, and then ideas begin flowing and so forth. So when you get into this vortex and you begin feeling the fullness of this project, it's satisfying just to think about it without needing to produce it. When we see someone in the process of creating an empire or a relationship or a network or a series that will be shown on a network, no matter what it is, we are aware that they are in the creative process long before they put the first brick in the building, or the first actor in the scene, or the first film applied to the project.
Which the concept even started 10 years before I even shot the pilot.
So what we're getting at is not just through what you thought about before you created the pilot, but things that you've thought about since. This now stands. You know how much we liked that analogy of the woman who is pregnant, and we said your vortex is pregnant with all things that you want. We would like to say to everyone, we love this word pilot, because in every case you've already shot the pilot too. In other words, you have created the vision, you have created the picture, you've done the work, you've done the legwork, you have the facts in place, you have the knowledge in place, you have a concept that's workable. In other words, you have attraction power. The only thing you don't have is your own cooperation with your own dream. And it's because instead of having cooperation with your own promise, with your own dream, with your own pilot, what's a pilot anyway? A pilot is a sort of practice. We'll show you what we've got. We'll get our idea out there as best we can. We'll give it the best shot that we can from where we are. And of course, they always say when they present a pilot, there's much more good stuff coming. We're just showing you what we've got so far, just so that you can get the idea of it. Do you know how much more good stuff has come since then? It's way bigger now than when you shot the pilot. In other words, this vortex is way bigger than anything that's showing on that screen.
Using the law of attraction, and as I said before, possible.
We want to stop you just for a moment, because you can't stop using the law of attraction. That's like saying, I think I will use the law of gravity today. And we say, yeah, we think you will. And you will be using the law of attraction too. Use a new terminology, because we know what you're headed for. Using the art of allowing. That's the secret. That's the secret. Using the art of allowing. That's the secret.
People just continue to tell me that I need to find the right people to put this in front of.
Well, we're telling you that the vortex will find them when you get in there. In other words, you can't find the right people until you get consistently in the vortex. And you can say all day long that you've been in the vortex, but you're not in the vortex. Everyone in this room knew it. On this particular subject, you've got what is itis. You've got what is itis. And you're impatient.
The frustration goes beyond this in knowing that what I'm going to be presenting to community is going to be helping.
Well, we love you very much, but blah, blah, blah. That's all irrelevant. That's all irrelevant. Nothing matters. Get into the vortex and then tell us that. Get into the vortex and then have those thoughts. Get into the vortex and then line up the people. Get into the vortex and then. Get into the vortex and then. When you say the frustration is because I know I've got something really good and people are missing out on it. No, that's not why you're frustrated. You're frustrated because you're not in the vortex. You're blaming it on people not getting to see what you've got. But that's just squirrely talk.
During the time when I can experience the vortex, and I do separate myself by choice.
Why?
Because of past experiences that I've been brought up to watch what Fifth Avenue is teaching me. I need to have this, I need to have this, I need to have this.
How's it working?
It's not working.
Then stop it.
And and I know that. I know that. But when I do become, I set myself in the vortex.
Do you need to be sent to jail? Do you need to be incarcerated so that you have no choice? I'm in jail, so I can't do my movie. I'm in jail. I'm incarcerated. We're not mocking that. We're not making fun of that at all. We're just saying you have to decide that there is a way for you to be in the vortex, disregarding the disappointment that you're feeling, because the television industry is so unwise to recognize the value of what you've got going. In other words, that feeling of resentment, that feeling of injustice, that feeling of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, that will just hold you there eternally. Do you know how many people are out there looking for things that aren't finding it all through the television networks? Do you know that the television networks are a dying breed? Do you know that the television networks are losing money so rapidly that they have to put so much advertisement on every program that people who are watching it are buying TiVo and all kinds of different machines, so that they are speeding right through the advertisements and not watching anything? So the people who are spending the money to advertise are not getting their money back for advertising, and so they're pulling back their advertisements. And so television is on the way.
Yes, of course. I do know that. And I've done the research.
Television is changing. Television is changing. So don't put your eggs all in that basket.
And I'm not. And then the reason why I used that term for television program was because that's the most generally understood. I mean, I could produce it and even put it on the internet by subscription to be able to pay for what was be done.
And then the people who want it will find it, yes?
Yes.
So what is the problem?
Production cost. Production cost.
But it doesn't amount to much, really. You see, don't argue for your limitations as you acknowledge. So what have you come across here in this brief conversation? You've got something really good, and you've convinced them. You've got something really good that will be that is of benefit to people, and it's ready to roll. Yes, ready to show. So if there's an audience that is seeking it and you have it, there are avenues in place for the projection of it where people can receive it. So if you believe in the validity of the vortex, and you believe that there is a process already lined up for you, and you believe that it is affordable, that's the thing. You're not believing that it is affordable, but we are telling you it is affordable. In other words, if you don't make your business bigger than your business, if you just let it be whatever it is, and let people who want it come to it. The thing that is, one of the things that is the most upsetting about the way your economic world has been operating is that people have erroneously and incorrectly believed some of what you are believing, that you need a big backing and a big wad of money because you're speculating about things that are uncertain. And so the status of the global economy right now is that more money from speculation has been applied in things that aren't certain, and it has caused such tremendous upheaval. And so now the most wonderful thing that is happening is that people are beginning to come back to the realization that if they have something of value, that someone will give something of value for it. Jerry and Esther have known people who have been speculators in all kinds of things. They have some people that they know rather well who are always looking for some venture capital and blow through that venture capital with nothing really coming to fruition for the people that they are working for. In other words, it's sort of a lifestyle that they have developed. And so when they came to Jerry and Esther asking for some venture capital, Jerry and Esther said, we don't think that that's a very good idea, because and we don't either. We think that what is a good idea is having something of value and offering it, and those who want it offering something for the something of value. And so it's just a nice in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and you live in a time when that is absolutely possible. Do you know you live in a time when people all around the world can be having their experiences, can post them in a way that anyone who's interested, subject by subject, can find them, and you don't have to have it translated through some news agency or through some organization who has a bias that they want you to be slanted toward.
Yes.
These are wonderful times. This is a much better time for the presentation of this unique product that you have than 10 years ago. This is the time for this product. You haven't been missing the boat. You've been waiting for the perfect boat, you see. And so now here it is. Doesn't that feel better?
Much.
You are in the vortex. Can you feel that you're in the vortex? And you know why you're in the vortex? Because we are in the vortex. Because we see you and we know what you want. We know what you've got, and we are projecting to you from our knowledge of inside the vortex. That's what the power of influence is, you see. That's what our friend is looking for with her mate who's incarcerated. And that's what you're looking for as you're wanting to uplift others. That's what you're looking for as you're wanting to offer some insight to the scientists. That's what you're offering as you're wanting to give some help to those people that are in unfortunate situations. That's what you're all wanting, to offer your power of influence. But you cannot offer your power of influence unless you're in the vortex. And when you're in there, boy, does it it rips through you. Can you feel the power of our knowing about what's up for you?
Yes.
And don't you now know it as effectively as we now know it, just as a result of your patiently willingness to play with us long enough to bring you up to speed? Are you realizing that it's not possible for you to defy this current, because this current is one that you set into motion? It's one that has all of the DNA signals. It's the one that's connected to you in every possible way, and all we did is shine a spotlight on it and reflect back to you what we saw until you remembered who you are and what you put there and what you've got and what you want and who you are and where you're going.
I have a knowing of that.
Then our work here is done.